Hi everyone, it's Mindy here. I wanted to share something with you about the work that I'm doing on myself. And when I share this, I share it as inspiration coming from my heart. Like, I hope it really inspires you to believe in the kind of work that it takes, the inner work that it takes for your tangible outcomes, for your vision, for your future, for what you want. And what's really interesting is the story I'm about to tell you really relates to my mom. You guys always know I talk about my mom and her being an inspiration. She has told me so many times, what's missing in your messages to people about the work that you do is how much it impacts your relationships. And it's funny, I never well, I don't think of the work that I do when I help women build their businesses, grow their businesses, or help them create something that they're working on, right? That it's really feels business related. And the parts of the work that I do, there's two main parts of the work I do as a coach, as a consultant, as a collaborator. I help women with the inner work, really working on growing themselves, learning about themselves, understanding themselves, know who they are, connecting with their authentic selves. And then I also help them with the outer work. That's where the consultant part of me comes alive. That's where the collaborator comes into play. So there's those two parts of my work. And so when you think of that, I don't imagine you think like, oh, well, that will make my relationship with others better. But my mom is right. That's what happens. That's what happens because along with building your business or working on your business, a lot of times there's a lot of stress involved in that. And I really want to help women reduce that kind of stress, work with more peace and ease. So I woke up this morning at like 6 a.m. and I made a note to myself, write a message about this. And it's a lot easier to make a video about this, which I don't do a lot of. So this is my attempt at creating a video about something I'm really passionate about. So I want to tell you a story about the work that I'm doing on myself and how it relates to the work that you can do to empower yourself and how it relates to making better relationships in your life, creating better relationship in your life. So yesterday, I did a consult with a potential client. When I got off the call, I went into the kitchen and my husband asked me how to go. And so I started to tell him. He's at the sink, he's not looking at me. I'm standing at the fridge and I'm just like on fire telling him like I did this and I said this and she said this and this is what's interesting and I feel like it went like and I just started talking and I'm very positive, I am very energetic and he literally stops me and is like I can't hear this right now. And so I stop talking and I walk away. And in fact, to be honest, I had to go to the bathroom. So I just literally walked out of the kitchen, started walking down the hall. Let me tell you what happened in that moment. Like 10 seconds into that walking down the hallway, I started, the 14-year-old girl in me started throwing a tantrum. Like, he never listens to me, like literally, I could feel her like rising in me. And by the time I got into the bathroom, probably 30 seconds, literally, this is all it takes. I said to myself, that's not true. When you share stuff with him, when you share stuff with Larry, he gives you amazing perspective. Like, I will tell him about what I was talking about decision making, for instance, how easy decisions are. He will lend so much of his perspective to that conversation or how I'm thinking about something. He'll provide a metaphor, he'll just like be in the conversation with me. And I reminded myself of that so fast. Like I was able to connect and see the highest version of him in less than 30 seconds. What really happened, let me give you some backstory. What happens with me with that 14-year-old girl is something I identified in myself in my own personal growth, in the inner work that I've been doing, and how I've been taught as a woman centered coach. I had to go on this personal journey myself and understand this process. And part of the process was me identifying that this 14-year-old version of me was very angry that my dad didn't listen to me, that my dad didn't hear what I was saying. And I would like get so furious about it. I brought so much of that fury into my relationship with my husband. I just assumed he was the same way. People don't listen to me. I'm not heard. So I've been doing this work for a while. It's, I started on this specific journey using these specific tools over 3 years ago. I've done a lot to recognize this 14-year-old version of me. I've done a lot to ask her about what her feelings are and what her needs are. I've also done a lot about understanding my responsibility in my relationship and how I show up and coming at him. So, this is what really happened. When I went into the kitchen with Larry, he had just come in from outside. He was so hot, he was sweating, he was like seeing red just when I started coming at him. He couldn't comprehend what was going on. So he needs space. And I needed to recognize that he needs that kind of space. And my responsibility in that is learning and noticing when an appropriate time is to talk to him to get his full attention where he can be present. Because when he's present, oh, it is the best conversation. And we ended up talking for like an hour after this conversation, or after this situation. I came back out of the bathroom. We sat down. He said, I'm sorry. I was so hot. I couldn't even hear a word you were saying. So we ended up having a great conversation. And at the end of it, like we stood up and we hugged each other. And he said, thank you for not losing your shit in that moment when I couldn't hear you. Because that's how I've conditioned him. That's what happens when I stomp away. Like I do, I throw a fit. I've had tantrums. Like that part of me comes out. And I've learned to notice when he's present or create the environment that he's present. But I take my responsibility in that, right? So I just want to share that with you that there is so much power in this work. There's so much growth and possibility in creating better relationships with other people by creating that relationship with yourself. So it's possible. Don't give up. There's ways through this. And I am so grateful that I have learned this for myself so I can have better relationships with my husband. Like that, it's just so much better when I show up that way. And it literally took less than 30 seconds. Yesterday, it literally took less than 30 seconds. It's taken me a couple years to create and cultivate that relationship with myself. And you can do that too. Have a great day. Bye.